what I want to suggest is something which you may already do in different arenas of your work, but this is what we do and have found to work really well. It brings a bit of structure without killing the freedom. It doesn't put a massive big halter on the horse. Okay, I'm going to explain it very, very simply. So the first thing we do is we say, Celia. Hi, Celia. So we're going to vlog together today. Great. What's the topic? Just remind me, what's the subject area?
Was mythological creatures in Virginia.
Oh my gosh, mythological creatures in Virginia. So look at the audience reaction already. It's like you're on a long haul flight and a podcast pops up. Yeah, mythological creatures in Virginia, you know, come on, quickly, let's do 9 circles on it. You ready?
Sure.
So what we do, we call it 9 circles. And I do this for everything now. And actually, I've made that too homogeneous. Normally, I do big ones, small ones. Yeah, we do roughly 9. There's a reason for that. I'll tell you in a minute. Okay, so Celia, without thinking, just tell me roughly 9 things you don't want to miss out on this that you think you'd love to talk about with the creatures in Virginia. 1, we must mention
You need to mention Chessie, the Chesapeake Bay sea monster.
Okay, scribble it in, Chessie. What's the other thing we must include? That
we need to mention the Wampus cat.
The Wampus cat. What's the other thing we should talk about?
We need to mention the wood ape, which is Virginia's Bigfoot.
Wood ape. What's something a bit more like some kind of, so I'm helping her now. I'm saying some kind of intro, Celia, some kind of intro.
Well, there are Appalachian legends and there are native indigenous legends.
Let's call them different kinds of legends.
Okay.
So she's loaded with the content, right? She's loaded with the content. And I'm quickly giving her some little subheads and we're just scribbling them into any box. Yeah?
Okay.
Anything else? Something fun to sign off at the end, like a little tip for people or something?
Ways to find sightings in your area.
Ways to find them in your area. Da-de-da. And so we just do that. And that is literally takes less than 10 minutes. If there's only 3 and 20 minutes is up, you're on the wrong subject. We're going to just split it. In my world, all storytelling is beginning, middle, and end. It's like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, beginning, middle, and end, trilogy. Yeah. They set off with hope. It all goes wrong and they resolve it and learn from it. It's just like these beginning, middle, and end. And so the classic one I use is, again, he's an English presenter called, what was his name? Alan Wicker. He was just a legendary presenter, very classic BBC. And he had the rhythm of 3. And he used to do things like this. So here we are in Marbella, a mecca for the rich and famous. That was his rough beginning. Behind me is the home of Cliff Richard, the legendary pop star. Da-de-da-de-da. That was his middle. And then the end was, I'm going to go in and find out how he made his millions and da-de-da-de-da. So it was definitely, this is where we are. It was definitely a different thing. The middle was definitely something else. It's the home of Cliff Richard, a bit about him. And that was, this is now what I'm going to do. So they're 3 distinctly different things. And if you use this for blogging and you're with a helpful person, they just say, okay, Celia, Barbie Bar, the beginning is roughly, by the way, did you know there are mythological creatures in Virginia, da-da-da, and you can find out about them. That's all about, that's the, by the way, did you know, the setup. And the middle is, let me give you some examples. For example, there's da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum. It's interesting that each of these has 3, what we call beats as well. So quite often the middle is ideal to give 3 examples. And then the end is, now, if you're more interested in this, you could read this, go online, or subscribe to my podcast. Again, it's different to the beginning and the middle. And funnily enough, each one had 3 beats. Yeah. So what can happen if it all works well, and it often doesn't, is somehow your 9 circles begin to quite neatly slot into 3 beginning, middle, and end, where each beginning, middle, end, we call these parts, they have beats. One time, just in the early days of us using this to make 90-second films, I used to make 90-minute documentaries, and now we make 90-second films, and exactly the same rules apply. All movies are broken into this, and we went 3 beats, three parts, 3 beats, and then we broke each beat down into a scene or a blah blah blah, and it went on, broke down to 27 and and the whole movie was structured like this just by breaking it down. And we realized that when an actor walks in when action is called action, firstly, man enters room, secondly, pulls a gun, thirdly, shoots and misses. We realized that even the activities of the actors could be broken down into beats.